Well, welcome into the Omaha Baseball Village. Josh Peterson and Matt McMaster with you. We got Josh Otson here. We got Ben Geezer back in our 1620 The Zone studio, and we are powered by Access Bank, here for a reason, yours, and by Children's Nebraska. And we would love to hear from you over the next hour on our special edition Zone Hotline, powered by the Sedoro Law Group. Your outcome depends on what you do next. 402-951-1620. Look at this. We got a text coming in from Pedro. Now, will Pedro tell us the truth this time,
or
Matt?
will he dupe us again?
We got duped. He sent us a Father's Day story earlier, and it was a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference, and you and I didn't get it because I never watched it, and you're too young.
Well, you're too young, too.
I am too young. It was, for whatever reason, I never got it.
What is it on? Is it on the CW?
I'm sorry.
Everything's on the CW nowadays. If you put, even Pac-12 football has found its way onto the CW.
All right, so let's see. Hi, guys. Josh, my memory about my dad is absolutely true. I guess some folks that live a sheltered life don't know Omaha back then. Before there was Berkshire and Kiewit and Mutual of Omaha, there was Wilson Armor, Cudahy Swift Meatpacking. Those were some rough and tumble days. All right, so he's saying I am 70 years old, and it was true. Eric in Milwaukee texts in, shout out to Nick's proprietary slice metric for correctly evaluating Arizona. How did the slice evaluate Arizona? Do you remember? Time to pull up the graphic and see what their slice score was.
What is what?
Do you not know about the slice score?
No.
Oh,
does he want to know about the slice score, Josh?
Is this when Connor Happer educated me on the Creighton Burners?
No,
I was just lost.
No, this was something Nick created on Tuesday.
It was a proprietary. It was his own formula to determine who was going to win the College World Series.
Many people are saying it's just run differential.
It is just run differential, but it's also divided by the number of games you play.
Oh,
which is the
how
run
many
differential.
games you play is so crucial to finding out.
So he spent all day calculating this for teams that are still playing baseball and teams that are not playing
He
baseball.
gave
anymore.
us Nebraska's slice score,
Creighton,
Creighton's slice
Texas
score.
A&M.
So who had the highest slice score?
Arkansas.
And they lost yesterday.
They lost yesterday.
Well, I can't make fun of Nick because I did make my own statistic.
What's that?
It's called the McMaster score.
What's that?
It judges how good of a basketball player you are.
Based on? Is it proprietary?
No, it was a formula. I'll have to go ahead.
This is a
re-look up the
Monday
formula.
topic alert.
No, I'll have to go and re-look up what my formula was. But Michael Jordan had the highest McMaster score.
Interesting. Did you build this backwards to make him number one?
No. The second highest McMaster score was David Robinson.
Okay, the math is flawed. It's absolutely
I will find
flawed.
it right now.
Okay, perfect.
Right now.
You do that. Well, welcome into the Omaha Baseball Village. We will be with you for the next hour ahead of Game 2 of this Father's Day Sunday, Oregon State and Coastal Carolina. The loser of that game will take on Louisville, and the winner will go on into the winner's bracket.
Did you just choke on? Did you just choke on something? I just thought
you
you
even
threw
Louisville,
up.
bro.
Louisville
8, Arizona 3. The Wildcats are going home after a horrific, awful bottom of the 8th inning that saw many, many runs scored by Louisville. 6 of them, in fact, as they first took the lead and then just kept adding them. And Arizona decided, why do we need to field the ball? Why do we need to tag players and hold on to the ball?
Apparently, the Wildcats thought that picking up the ball and throwing it to first base wasn't necessary to win baseball
Why
games.
would you do that? Why do you need outs when you're on defense? And so they lost, and so their season is now done. Sorry to the Big 12's Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, our first casualty, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll say this. The first casualty should have been those terrible Louisville uniforms.
Whoa!
I hate those uniforms. I hate leads, or anger leads to hate leads to suffering. I know about Star Wars, but those unis are trash. Man, I remember when they played the other day, I was like, oh, thank God they're not wearing those dumb Astros uniforms. And then they pulled out the dumb Astros uniforms. Matt's still looking for his formula over here.
I am.
You should have this thing easy to find. Matt. How many formulas do you have?
I have a lot of formulas.
Wow, many formulas on many sides.
I have many formulas.
Well, hold on. I just want to, for comparison's sake.
What are we talking about? Uniforms, or are we talking about Matt
your
again?
top 10 ranch rankings was easily accessible
on his phone.
but your proprietary "who's the best basketball player of all time" score,
You have to
not
scroll.
easily accessible.
Courses I'm taking. Is this your college? Are you looking through college documents?
This is college grades because this was a
Wow.
college project. Shout out Matt Waite and SBMC 350.
Yeah.
And this was our data analytics class.
That's wild that you still have access
And-
to college stuff.
Yeah,
They
well,
deleted my email
as long
years
as
ago.
I'm still paying college loans, I should be able to find out what grades I have.
I'm still paying mine, and I don't have any access to my grades.
You know, my college asked me to donate to them the other day.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Did the couple $100,000 I spend to go to your university,
no.
that wasn't enough?
It's not enough, Matt. They need more of your money. They need more of our
Everybody
money.
always needs more money. That's for all those youngins out there. That's the lesson you can take
Wow,
away.
Matt just called people
For-
youngins.
Yeah, there's a lot of youth baseball players out there, and my number one advice
There
to
are.
them is if you think people don't want more money, you're wrong.
That's your number one piece of advice.
That
If you're
and-
talking to a young person,
If I
you're
was
like,
talking to
people
a
are going to
young
want your
person-
money.
My number one advice to a young person would be get a good coffee maker.
Oh,
Like, get a high quality coffee maker. You need
nice.
coffee.
How high quality are we talking about here?
Like, get an espresso, right? If you want
Okay.
to switch it up, some people
I
like
have
Americanos,
I
some
have
people
Trip.
like lattes.
Is that okay?
Trip is good.
I have a
I just like variety. Some days I just want a straight cafecito. Some days I want to mix in a little milk.
my coffee maker is going on about
Whoa.
8 years old, maybe. It's going on a while. It grinds the beans down
Whoa.
for me. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Every morning, a full pot. No, never mind. I don't have it set up for tomorrow, but I do have all of the components washed and ready to go.
Do you roast your own beans?
What does that mean?
So you have to, you get your own beans, then you roast the beans in order to make them like coffee beans, and then you grind the beans, and then it
I don't
gets
know.
down to coffee.
No, I think they're probably
You buy-
pre-roasted.
Okay,
I buy them from
pre-roasted
Verena Street Coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you grind it.
It grinds in, and then it goes on
Do you remember when
down.
I bought a Keurig for the office and it hasn't
And
been
then,
used
yeah.
in 2.5
Look,
months?
I love the purchase. It's a great purchase. The issue for me is I'm not Michael Bruntz. I don't drink coffee in the afternoon. 2 o'clock's too late for me.
The problem for me is I found out what Monster Energy was.
Yeah, that's not good for you, though.
Well, I'm young, and so I can recover from that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
either that or 4 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Would I rather have 1 Monster Energy or 4 cups of coffee?
4 cups of coffee is my answer.
My answer is 1 Monster
Though I
Energy.
do like the
Do you
taste
want to know what
sometimes of those
McMaster score
Monsters.
is?
Yes, you got the answer.
Okay. So a McMaster score, each player is measured by something called a McMaster score.
Okay.
The McMaster score is found by this equation. Rebounds a game times a half.
Rebounds a game times what?
Rebounds
Times 0.5.
times 0.5 plus assists per game plus points per game times true shooting percentage minus turnovers a game times 2 plus PER plus defensive blocks plus minus plus value over replacement player.
Wow, that's a lot.
Is it a peak score? The greatest McMaster score player is Michael Jordan.
It's Michael Jordan. And number 2 is David Robinson.
And number 2 is David Robinson.
Now,
Then
what else do we
John
got in the top 10?
Stockton, Karl Malone,
Oh, my
Scottie
gosh.
Pippen, Charles Barkley.
Yikes. This is tough.
And then the
This is
best of the
tough.
2010s was LeBron James, then Russell Westbrook.
Wow.
So
All
there
right.
you go.
This is no
It
offense,
failed.
Matt. It's awful. But you know,
I made scatter plots and everything.
yeah. That you're doing that's cool. You learned to do that in college?
Yeah.
I didn't learn to do any of that stuff.
I learned how to do data analytics in college.
That's pretty nice. That's good for you now.
I helped my friend create an application and where we can find out, yes runs in the first inning, that bet.
Yeah.
No runs in the first inning.
Yeah.
We, mostly him, but I did help him create a application that will predict whether or not that will happen in a game so we can bet. Because I like that bet.
I have always fancied myself as someone who would love to create a power rating for football.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how.
Those people, they use spreadsheets. Are you a big spreadsheet guy?
No. I have a spreadsheet to keep track of my runs,
Sure.
but I don't
Wow.
know how to build a whole lot of stuff on those
the whole
spreadsheets.
coding thing just kind of went over my head.
Yeah.
Until
Until this class.
Shout out
That's
Matt
awesome. Speaking of shout-outs, we're asking for shout-outs about dads because it is Father's Day.
Yes.
We've seen many fathers here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Aaron texts into the special edition of the Grum.
Whoa, we have
This
a
is
caution in Mexico City for NASCAR.
Whoa, I can't believe it. Aaron says to 402-951-1620, Happy Father's Day to every dad out there.
Happy
Mostly
Father's Day.
because this is the easiest way to get into sports. I had to explain to my wife's family.
My wow.
Most other people I know, my love of Huskers and sports comes from my dad. It was built around radio because all games weren't on TV at that time, and sneaking off to watch them with him and Mom always making sure we saw a game in person every year. I'm a new dad, and you best believe my daughter only watches TV if it's a sport, or if it's sports at this point. It's cool as hell to be called a girl dad.
Cool.
Hell yeah. Shout out to
Absolutely.
I know that guy. Shout out to my friend Aaron. Him and his wife, they just had their child within the last few months.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're doing great.
First year of being a parent has got to be brutal.
Yeah, you never sleep.
Josh, you can comment. First year of
I don't
being
think
a
you
parent.
heard. First year being a parent. Oh, yeah. Do you remember any of it? Because you were so sleepy?
Actually, no, I really don't. I mean, it's more of a fog.
Yeah. The Fog Boys.
Yeah, it's not even a tired. It's like it's a different than tired. It's a fog. It's a haze.
How many hours of sleep a day do you think you were getting while you were being?
Well,
a
I
parent
only
for the
get
first
about 4 or 5 as it stands
Josh,
now.
that's not enough.
That's not healthy.
Yeah, Josh.
Does anything about me scream healthy?
All right, we're going to be talking about Northwestern football today.
We are going to talk about
That's
it.
not
Now,
healthy.
how much sleep were you getting back then?
Probably about the same.
Same? Hey, there you go. At least you
Yeah.
didn't have to adjust yourself.
Yeah,
My
wife's a saint.
Nice. Shout
She
out.
is a very nice woman.
Yep, we saw
Shout
her
out
earlier.
your son, who was hustling the crowd
Hustling
today.
people for granola bars.
Yeah, he was.
I asked him, I go, you trying to get commission? He goes, what's commission?
Nice. Hey,
He's
you
gonna
got to
learn.
teach them words sometimes. He mentioned it. We are to the final 3 schools in college football summer school, and today I'm going to clear out. It's going to be like watching Russell Westbrook in 2017 with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm going to say, this is all you. Your PER is going to be very high because you're talking Northwestern football.
You did not respect the fact of the amount of time and effort I put into making the McMaster score. I just feel like we just flew over.
No, the time was awesome. The results were just bad. You know, I've been putting together this project where I'm ranking 70 losses, 1 to 70, and I'll be honest, there was this real big part of me that was like, man, if I plug in the wrong numbers, what if it says that, like, the 2014 bowl game loss to USC was the worst of the last decade? I would say my formula is flawed.
Do you know Michael Adams? You remember Michael Adams? He's a Denver Nugget. Apparently he's the 7th best player of all time.
Yeah,
according to this.
we're definitely struggling. Now, again, great work. The graphics colorful.
I know.
What's the thing called with all the dots?
It's called a scatter plot.
That's cool. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And
But I suck at my
designing
job.
everything. It's just, yes, maybe you plugged in the wrong data. The formula maybe needs to be adjusted a little bit.
And Arizona decided to just
Arizona, yes, it was like the end. It was the bottom of the 8th when it was like,
Basically.
what data do you need? But it's like the good data's going over
we
their
need
head.
the good data that has you pick up the ball.
Oh, yeah.
With the first.
Feels
Maybe-
like rebounds were too heavily weighted.
Yeah, that was a lot of.
I times it by 0.5.
You times it by 0.5. Got to times it by 0.6.
And we could probably just pull Karl Malone right out of there.
Yeah, and Stockton being that high, yikes.
We like assist. If you have assist, you're
Where's
a good
Magic
basketball.
Johnson? He
Well,
had
no,
the
this was on the
most-
90s. This was in the 90s.
So this is the best 90s
90s
players.
players versus 2010s
Okay,
players.
it's not as bad then. I thought that this was the GOAT.
No. I even
Okay.
forgot the point of the
Old
project.
man Doug's in the call.
I will say this.
Recency bias.
Just so we get more
Larry
deep into
Bird.
my one project. This was about finding when the prime ages of NBA players are and comparing them.
What's
from
the answer?
90s.
It's like 27.
28.
28.
28. And we actually see here, if you're looking at this chart, that
Wow.
both 90s players and 2010s players peaked at the same exact time.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Actually, yeah.
Isn't that exciting
90s
to think that
players
you're not
were
in your
better in their early 30s than 2010s players.
Isn't that
The
exciting?
2010s players were better earlier. in
Earlier,
their
well, that
careers.
makes sense because they were coming into the league faster, so thus they were more experienced early on.
Which
But yet, when they hit 28, they're all pretty much even.
they're all pretty much even.
Isn't that awesome? You still have a few years left until your prime.
I'm
Meanwhile,
past
Austin
my
and I
prime.
we're on the other
I
side.
think my prime was 16 years old. I could run a 5-minute and 18-second mile.
Yesterday you peaked at
4. Now it's.
But athletically.
No, we're talking about takes. Your takes prime.
My takes prime?
When does somebody go into their prime for takes?
Oh.
It's got to be
Definitely
in
not
your
later.
50s,
Definitely
right?
not later in your life.
So you're
Matt,
saying John has John is past takes prime.
I'm not going to make that statement, especially
Gary?
if he's listening. No.
Wow.
No.
Gary and John,
No.
see you later.
I did not say anything.
Has Happer entered his prime for the takes yet?
Clearly not.
I think he's just getting there.
Oh, man.
Have you-
He's just scratching the
Have you
surface.
heard Happer's takes? I think he's past his prime.
Well, the issue with Happer's takes
Or
is that,
they're bad.
well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
well,
I'm kidding.
no, well,
I'm
I mean,
kidding.
let's
I'm kidding.
hear you out a little bit.
I don't know.
His
Connor Happer's
takes-
on the P1.
I mean, he often says that, basketball is better than football, which, I mean, you've lost
That's
the plot.
no.
The plot
no.
has been lost.
Have we jumped the shark there?
Very much so. Very much so. Let's see. We got a text. I can't really tell what in the world's going on here, so I'm just not going to read it.
Okay.
We'll get to college football summer school in the next 40 minutes as we look at the final three teams in the Big Ten Conference. We got a variety of other college football topics that we're going to get to over the next couple of days.
Adam Scott is talking to a rules official here as we resume playing the final round of the U.S.
Yeah,
Open.
the U.S. Open, for those of you who missed it, had a delay that lasted, basically it's once we got back here, it was in a delay. So it's been in a delay for a couple hours. It is absolutely soaked there at Oakmont.
He is in a terrible position.
You know what it is there? It's mushy. It's definitely mushy
Now,
there.
did you gentlemen hear the Mushi conversation
I
during
did.
the game?
That was great.
We both were quoting the promo that ran
Mushy.
for 2 months.
Oh, yeah. It's
They're
a good
mushy.
That was a good time. You know what else is a good time? The 1620 The Zone hydration sponsor, which is Coke Zero. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever?
Yes.
Take a taste. And a reminder, the Country Fest is back at OBV. This Friday, OBV welcomes Walker Montgomery and special guests Casey Johnson, Kimberly Meyer to the Beer Garden stage. This is an all-ages show. Get your tickets at OmahaBaseballVillage.com. We will be on with you until 5:40 ahead of the nightcap tonight. Oregon State and Coastal Carolina. People are waving towels around. People are ready to go for the baseball. The winner will move on into the winner's bracket. They can get their pitching in order. They're not going to play for a couple of days. Meanwhile, the loser, well, they're going to have to take on Louisville, who put up 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to move on.
They played Louisville baseball, which is we're just going to make the other team collapse.
Nice. We'll see if they can continue to do it. We have 40 minutes to go. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster. We got Josh Hodson here. We will do so when we return on the special edition of The Grum on 1620 The Zone. Come by the Zone booth inside of the Omaha Baseball Village and register to win ice cream for a year from Ted and Wally's. Ted and Wally's, official ice cream of 1620 The Zone, celebrating more than 35 years with over 3,000 flavors. Benson in the Old Market, Omaha. Josh Hodson was just giving out gift certificates to Ted and Wally's. That is baller. I love ice cream. Ice cream, as I have gotten older, has become my favorite once, if not twice a week snack to have at night. Oh, yeah, I had some last night. It's great.
It's love great, cookies.
Cookies?
Yeah.
You just had? Oh, my gosh. Did you have the whole cookie?
Yeah.
Whoa, that was like 30 seconds.
I have a problem.
Wow. Was it good? Those cookies were good.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're. Like you got one bite.
There's nothing better, though, than like a slightly cold cookie where you get that like little bites, that little like chip off the old block.
Chili.
Yeah.
Little chili chill.
Yeah, I've cut out ice cream, though, for my diet.
Yeah? Bummer.
Kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, when you're trying to lose weight, when you gain too much weight, ice cream, out the window.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand
cookies, though. I will never stop eating cookies.
Can't stop, won't stop.
You will never tell me you can't eat cookies anymore.
Just like we won't stop until 5:40. We'll be on until 5:40. Coming up in just a couple moments, actually, we're going to talk about college football. We will finish up our look at the Big Ten Conference. We'll also preview a little bit later on Game 2, Oregon State and Coastal Carolina. We got to get a complaint from you.
Oh, yes.
Will you stand up and show the camera your torso again?
I don't think I was showing my torso.
That's true. Let's get to the Big Ten Conference, though. We are wrapping up our exercise where we go team by team in the Big Ten Conference. And, we had been going, Matt, off of the odds, but I realized that the website we were using didn't have Rutgers. So my guess is Rutgers probably was somewhere up a little bit higher.
Is there like a New Jersey type deal?
No, I think it's just not on FanDuel for some reason. Yeah, but I think they're probably on DraftKings. But either way, we'll do Rutgers, we'll do Purdue, and then we will do Matt's Northwestern Wildcats.
Yeah.
Let's start with Rutgers.
Justin Jackson, the ball carrier.
It's so funny on the Wikipedia page. It says it's the 17th season for Greg Schiano at Rutgers, which, yes, it is, but that doesn't tell us how many consecutive years. Was this first year the COVID year? Or was he there?
No, a year before, I think.
So that means that this would be the 7th year on this time?
I think it is.
No, it was COVID, so this is the 6th year.
Okay.
6th year for him. Notable games for Rutgers. They always open on that first Thursday night. Sadly, this year it's not at 5 o'clock. Like, one of my great, not memories, but one of the things that I do enjoy.
I was about to say, if one of your great memories included Rutgers football.
When I was in high school, they had that Thursday night game where the kicker made the field goal and he pointed at the camera. That was awesome, and I was watching that game live. But they usually start at 5 o'clock, and so we'll be doing the show at a sports bar in Omaha. And they're always on, and it's like, sweet, college football is here.
And this is the only time I'll watch Rutgers all year.
Maybe. This year, though, we'll be at Arrowhead, so we will not be at a sports bar.
We'll be at 1620 The House.
No, we will not be. We will be at, I believe, the tailgate spot, which hopefully has televisions, because if so, that means we get to watch Boise State in South Florida. You will have done the show at 1620 The House.
That's going to be.
We're going to, mad times. Mad times.
It's going to be something.
Rutgers, though, begins against Ohio on that opening Thursday. Notable conference games. Iowa in late September at Minnesota. Of the big dogs, they play 3 of the 4. Oregon at home in mid-October, at Ohio State, second to last week, and then Penn State at home.
Oof.
Yikes town, population Rutgers. What is the most important game for the Scarlet Knights?
I do want to say this before I get into what is the most important game. I think that Rutgers is a better team that people will probably give them credit for.
Okay.
But I do think that their schedule kind of holds them to what we expect them to be, which is 6-6. Or 5-7 to 7-5.
Well, along those lines, I know a lot of people, Matt, last year were really jacked for them. They ended up going 7-6. They started 4-0, and the Nebraska game began a 4-game losing streak, which is perplexing in there, though, because they lost 42-7 to Wisconsin.
So Kyle Monangai definitely was not the running back. He was still very good. He got drafted in the NFL.
Sure.
Shout out Chicago Bears, 7th round. But
bear down.
He did not have the season that many anticipated him to have, and that defense did not hold as much water in their passing game, despite the fact that Ethan Kaliakmanis was the first Rutgers quarterback to pass for more than 2,000 yards in like 10 years. They did not have the season that they thought they would.
Yeah.
All this to say, though, Iowa week 4 at home to me is their most important game. And the reason why is I feel like if they win this game to start the Big Ten season, it'll give them really positive momentum to
That's a Friday night game, by the way.
beat Minnesota and to beat Washington. And then they'll get crushed by Oregon.
Yeah.
But I think that game
You'd be feeling pretty good, though.
You'll be feeling very good if you win against Iowa at home. And I do think that Minnesota, and we talked about this yesterday, is not going to be as good as maybe they have been in the past. I think that's a winnable game despite the fact it is on the road. So give me Rutgers against Iowa week 4 for momentum for when they play their more winnable games to begin the year.
I'm going to go other side of the coin. So I feel like that we are very much in lockstep, but I'm going to go with the Washington game.
Okay.
Which also is a Friday. So they play 2 Friday games within the span of a month, with the Iowa game being one of them. And then at Washington on the West Coast, it will be a 9 o'clock Eastern kick, 6 o'clock out there on the West Coast. But basically because of what you said, I look at that Iowa-Minnesota stretch, and while I can pick up what you're dropping with Minnesota, maybe taking a bit of a step back, that's still going to be, I think, a tough game. Certainly Iowa will be a tough game. And so let's say they go 0-2 or even 1-1. Man, you don't want to move to 1-2 in that 3-game stretch, or certainly go to 0-3 in that 3-game stretch, mainly because you have Oregon, you have Ohio State, and you have Penn State coming up. So I look at this as a great way to go into the final 6 games of the season. And I know I've been kind of a broken record on this over the last few days. But, man, a lot of the important games that I do find on these schedules come in that spot of the season. So with the real tough, brutal teams on the back half, I picked this, though I very much would have been down to mention the Illinois game as well, just given that they should definitely beat Purdue. I think that they should beat Maryland. And so can they win against Illinois? Because if so, I mean, they're not going to win either of the last 2 games of the season.
No,
so, pick up some dubs along the way as you get to whatever that record is.
Isn't it nice having a head coach where you kind of know one side of the ball is kind of just taking
care
of?
Yes, absolutely.
Where you're just like, doesn't matter who they have or what the town is like. Oh, the defense is going to be pretty damn good.
Yeah.
God.
Josh?
Got a comment on the YouTube stream.
Let's go.
On the Sedora Law Group hotline.
Yeah.
Just check FanDuel. Rutgers is 15th at plus 23,000.
Whoa!
To win the Big Ten?
Yeah.
So what is that?
So maybe they added them since the show earlier today.
$10 and you win $2,300.
Correct.
To win the Big Ten.
You going to do that?
Hell no.
Yeah, me neither. That would be silly. Thank you very much. Who was this?
That was Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Maybe I'll place a 1-cent bet to win $23.
That would be pretty cool. That
Jack
sounds like
loves penny bets.
Dang it, you beat me to it. Jack Mitchell would do that type of garbage.
Oh, but he's in it on Flip, which was fake cash. That was fake.
But I pull it. It's real. I get money.
Well, not anymore. They don't. I don't know.
Have they canceled Flip?
I'm pretty sure you can't.
Did big government come for Flip?
I think there's like Flip cash. There's a difference between Flip cash and Flip. Let me tell you something right now. Somebody was trying to explain to me the whole Flip thing. I'm like, God, I'm going to cross the river, And
I'm an adult.
Yeah,
that's what you should say. Or I'm an adult man.
Or I might call a bookie and just be like, hey,
that's illegal, Matt. Why would you ever do that?
I would never do that.
Yeah, exactly. Me neither. All right, let's get to Purdue before we get to the big dog, and that is Northwestern.
Yes, the big dog.
The big dog.
Or the big cat.
Purdue in year 1 under their new coach, Mr. Barry Odom. Who comes from UNLV. Does this mean that their quarterback's going to quit in the middle of the season? Yuck.
Nice
Let's see.
Joke.
Purdue, early September or mid-September. It's the 13th. That's mid. They play USC.
They were mid.
The very next week, they play at Notre Dame. Then they play Illinois after an off week. They also have Michigan and Ohio State in back-to-back weeks in November. They have Indiana, of course, for the Old Oaken Bucket on the Black Friday. It's a night game on the Black Friday, among others. Purdue. So,
Can I just go?
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, it's Northwestern, so they might be able to get a win in the Big Ten.
So you wrote Northwestern down? I also wrote Northwestern.
Just so they can have one Big Ten win.
See, and now I did think I kicked the tires.
No, you didn't.
On Indiana. Rivalry. I kicked the tires. But I didn't pick it. I picked Northwestern.
If they were to beat Indiana, which they won't. But if they were to beat
that would get Barry Odom a ton of goodwill in year 1.
Okay.
Isn't it nuts how far they have fallen? They went to the conference championship game in 2022.
I'm pretty sure they've been to as many or more conference championship games. No, in the last three years, they've been to more conference championship games than Ohio State.
Yeah, because Ohio State's. Yeah.
And Ohio State hasn't been.
Wow, that's wild.
It's a crazy stat.
Look at that. Suck on that, Buckeyes. Ryan Day, you suck.
Ryan Day's the worst coach ever.
All right, so as we talked about, that's easy because it's Purdue. They suck.
Who cares?
All right, so but apparently now you're going to give us 20 minutes on Northwestern. Northwestern, who enters year 3 under David Braun. People forget, and I'm saying that not as a bit.
No.
People forget that he went 8-5.
He beat Utah.
One. Dude, they lost to Nebraska, and then they made a bowl game, and Nebraska won another game and never won again and went 0-4 to finish the season.
They embraced Brendan Sullivan being a running quarterback as opposed to doing this whole Jack Lausch, baseball player thing.
Their schedule will include them playing at the tiny baby stadium yet again. Western Illinois.
It's a nice stadium.
Hey, I've been there. I was there last year.
Nice
Dude, they play on my birthday at that tiny stadium on a Friday night versus Western Illinois on the Big Ten Network.
September 6th.
They host Oregon on big noon kickoff. That will be a bloodbath. Other notable games, they're at Penn State. They travel to Nebraska. They travel to USC. They host Michigan. It is such a bummer that Nebraska does not play there because if they played there this year, it would either mean they're playing in the tiny stadium or they're playing at Wrigley.
Okay.
Nebraska's never gotten to play Northwestern at Wrigley in the Big Ten era.
That would be.
Has Nebraska ever played at Wrigley?
Hey, Cam Kozel's like sleep over at the Kozels, sleep over at the McMasters.
Oh, man, we could go to your house and you could cook us food.
1620, the house part 2.
Wow.
It's just, at Matt McMaster's
Instead,
place.
Nebraska will host them right before Halloween. Boo. Nobody cares. All right, Matt,
man.
I'm just going to give you my answers so that you can clear
Go
out.
ahead.
I wrote down UCLA. Mainly because it is the game after the Oregon game, and it follows an off week, which is good. So you played your non-conference. You have one more non-conference game to go after that, but then you have just the group of really bad or teams that are going to beat you because you're really, really bad. So I picked UCLA because, dare I say, it's a winnable game in conference for the Northwestern Wildcats. But, you could go with Purdue, I guess, too.
Michigan at Wrigley Field.
What? Why?
Because if they were to go to Wrigley and win that game in front of all those Michigan fans, that'd be really damn cool.
Yes, but it's not happening.
But let me get there.
Oh, okay, my bad.
This team will be.
You guys have a trophy game for this?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing.
This will be
for Michigan.
All right, let's just go to.
No. Give me what you got.
This Northwestern. All right, for everybody here at the Omaha Baseball Village, Northwestern will be better than people think this year.
Why?
Okay? Because if you look at Northwestern football's history, when they have a quarterback, they have success.
Like Kane Coulter?
Like
Clayton
Thorson, like Peyton Ramsey, like Trevor Siemian.
Who was the guy from Clemson? Hunter
Johnson.
He sucked.
He was awful.
He was a 5-star.
He committed to Northwestern through the transfer portal. When
I remember.
Northwestern was playing Notre Dame at Northwestern.
I remember that.
It was an incredible moment.
That was the year they won the division, right? In 2018?
Nope, that was the year before.
Okay.
The year before.
Okay.
Yes, I was at that game. It was a great game. They
nice.
nearly won that game, but Ian Book had like a 9-minute drive.
Bummer.
And
that's like an Army
Chase
stuff.
Claypool had like a great game too.
Classic.
So anyway, I think Northwestern will be better because if you look at the history of Northwestern football, when they have good quarterback play, they do win more games than they probably should. Preston Smith transferred from SMU. He was the backup last year.
Yep.
He will be better than what I think was like the worst quarterback situation in
America. It was horrible.
Mike Wright was terrible. Brendan Sullivan leaving that group was bad. Jack Lausch just could not throw the ball more than 20 yards down the field. So having a transfer quarterback, and they still have, despite the fact that Fitzgerald was left, they still have a pretty good defensive identity. They get picked apart in the portal, but they've been picked apart in the portal every single year.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
When I went to their game in week 1 last year, my takeaway was, wow, it's a bummer that Nebraska doesn't play them because that'd be an easy win.
Well, last year it would have been.
Yeah.
But they nearly beat Duke. And, if they win that Duke game in overtime.
That was a Friday night, right?
That was a Friday night game in overtime to begin the year. I really do think their season would have been different if they didn't blow that game. But their quarterback situation was so bad. I feel like they've solved it. Joseph Hyman is a really, really good is going to be a really good running back.
Do they call him Jaime?
No. But on top of that, Cam Porter's back for his 6th year of running the football.
God, I cannot wait for COVID eligibility to be done.
CP will be also. They're going to have a good run game. They established the offensive line. They went to the transfer portal. They upgraded it. So I think that Northwestern will go a very solid 6-6 this season.
Homer.
And
Do you still watch all their games?
No.
Bummer.
I never watched all their games.
Wow,
I watched.
fan he is.
Like guys, like I watched.
You know, the last time I did not watch a Nebraska game. I'm not talking like live or taped. I'm just saying didn't watch it. I think it's 2005 Kansas.
Okay,
because it wasn't on TV.
Yeah,
it's the last time.
I've
watched
always
every game
described
since
my
then.
relationship with Northwestern football was, it's a Saturday, the Cats are on. Cam Porter, the ball carrier.
Nice, look at that. And that's
Justin Jackson, the ball carrier.
That's Northwestern. We've done all 18 teams in the Big Ten. So now we're going to do other things as we get ready for college football.
That sucked.
What sucked?
The last 3 teams.
Yes,
terrible.
and even the ones that we did earlier. The first day of this was like
the first 2 days.
First 2 days
incredible.
were nice. We had Nebraska
Today
in there.
Did not matter.
No,
yeah,
it definitely
because
did not. It's the
Purdue
dreck.
beating Northwestern really going to flip.
Remember when Nebraska was tied with Purdue at the half 0-0 last year, or were they down 3-0? Either way,
were you worried at all during that game?
Yes,
I was not.
And going into halftime, I guess I think it was more, wow, they are not anywhere near as good as I thought they would be. This is going to be bad for the rest of the year.
So I saw Purdue play Notre Dame to begin the season.
Oh my gosh, that was a bloodbath.
And I saw
66-7.
I saw how bad the offensive and defensive line was for Purdue.
And you were like,
and I literally told my dad, I don't know if they're going to win a game.
Yeah, they were horrible.
They were terrible.
Yep.
Shout out Ryan Walters.
Yep, there you go. And he's gone now as a defensive coordinator.
And he's going to be awesome for Washington.
We talked about that. Yep. Yesterday. 1620 The Zone, powered by KRT Athletic Muscle Cream, providing increased performance to people who suffer from muscle fatigue and cramps, and by Cross Train Brewing, Nebraska fresh and always evolving. We have about 25 minutes left in today's show as we get you ready for Oregon State and Coastal Carolina. If you missed it, maybe you're just getting down here. Arizona had a horrible bottom of the 8th inning. Louisville scored 6 runs. They ultimately won the game 8-3. And so they live to see another day. They will play the loser of tonight's game. We will come back and keep this thing going. You have something to complain about.
I always have something to complain about. But this one might be one of my worst ones.
One of your worst ones.
This one might be like, really, Matt? Really?
Interesting.
Okay.
We'll do that when we return on the special edition of the program. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster, Josh Odson hanging out here at the Omaha Baseball Village. Ben Geezer back in our studios. More to come. 1620 The Zone. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there in the audience, and certainly thinking about those of you who do not have your father in your life anymore. Know that a day like today, perhaps the first one without your dad, can be extremely tough. And so we're thinking about all of you, and an extra special shout out to those of you who chose to be a father to someone else in your life.
Great call. Great call.
Very much appreciate all the dads out there in the audience. And so with that nice stuff out of the way, Matt's going to complain about something now.
Yes, I am.
All right, what do you got?
This is one that's near and dear to my heart.
Okay. Because what have we done the last couple of days? You complained about movies and how there's nothing original anymore.
You go. Good,
and then yesterday was, what did you complain about yesterday?
Bar tabs.
Bar tabs.
People cutting
yes,
in
people
line
cutting
at the
in
bar.
line. Yeah,
right?
I'd say
we need proper bar etiquette.
Yeah, I'd say solid complaints.
I think we're 2 for 2. I think we're.
Are we going to go 2 for 3?
No.
Is this going to be a big
We
win?
are not going to go 3 for 3.
Okay.
I have a problem with people who don't walk at the same speed that I walk.
Excellent take, Matt. I like
you
this
got to
take.
walk quicker. And in particularly, people who are in a big group who take up the entire sidewalk, who think the world is just on their time and they just walk as slow as possible.
Yeah.
Screw you. Screw you. All right. If you are a slow walker, and there's nothing wrong with being a slow walker, right? Some of us are old. Some of us have injuries. Some of us are whatever.
Some of us just like walking
slow.
Don't
take up the sidewalk. Don't walk in the middle. And don't have the people who are walking slow with you take up the rest of the sidewalk. Okay?
Okay.
We got to walk quicker. Now, for the people who walk really, really fast, I have a problem with those people too.
Wow.
We have to, there's a happy medium of walking.
There's
speed.
a speed limit we need.
Exactly.
For walking.
Exactly. Because if you're walking really fast and then you're complaining to me, who I walk at a perfect speed. All right.
Wow.
I have the perfect walking speed. 1 foot in front of the other. I'm not too fast. I'm not too slow. Right. Don't complain at me that I'm not walking. I'm walking perfectly fine.
Yeah.
All right. So
it was a perfect
my complaint is people who do not walk at my speed.
Okay. Actually, don't hate this one.
Just don't. I have no problem if you're a slow walker, but don't take up the entire. You should not be going 3 by 1 on the sidewalk.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 people in the front, 1 person in the back. 2 people in the front.
I mean, how are you going to have a conversation? When you
don't need to have a conversation. You're walking so you can get to your conversation.
You don't need to talk.
Just walk better. Don't walk so slow, but don't complain at me if you're walking too fast. That's my complaint.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it. I imagine there are people in the audience who probably despise this take.
Well,
they'll probably compare this to that prediction you had back during the college football playoff.
No prediction whatsoever. Just if you're a fast walker, people, you're a fast walker.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're just flying by everybody.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with being a fast walker, but don't shame me for not keeping up with your speed.
But it sounds like you have a pretty solid pace yourself.
I have a good pace. I feel like I have a really, really good walking pace. Okay. I feel like most people have a really good walking pace.
Yeah.
It's just, if you're a slow walker and you know who you are, don't walk in the middle of the sidewalk.
How are we grading this take there, Josh? What do we think? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
It looks like a cautious thumbs up.
Just
though.
Just
cautiously subscribe to a thumb up.
You know what? We need lanes on sidewalks.
Walking lanes?
Walking lanes.
You go to big cities. Have you ever been to Chicago, Matt?
A couple times.
So I run down by the lake sometimes, and they have all sorts of lanes, bike lanes, walking lane, running lanes.
LSD is a great place to
LSD.
At Lakeshore Drive.
Oh, yes, of course.
Graphic.
LSD is a great place.
It's Lakeshore Drive.
The Beatles said that, I think, back in the 60s.
A lot of people said that back in the 60s.
They did. People were really loving Lakeshore Drive back in the 60s.
Cheeseburger says everything, man.
I do like the Lakeshore Drive. I love running on that body of water.
Not?
It's gorgeous.
Who is going to go down there and be like, well, I really don't like the beautiful water and the nice paths.
Plus the vibes breeze. The day before a marathon down there with all my people, my runners.
There's some good bars in that area.
Oh, really?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay.
Right on the so you can if you're on running.
You're talking about the stand type situation?
Yeah.
It looks like a shop.
There is this bar over there that is directly on a running path that you could just go and get a beer at when you're done running.
That's
actually
fun.
Great. I haven't done that because I don't run anymore.
Sad.
# shin splints.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I'm retired.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I think
You're so young to retire.
My bad back. Bad. bad
Yeah,
knees,
wow,
bad
you're
ankles.
just saying a lot of bad. Hockey beat you up.
But I'm a fragile human.
Hockey beat
too.
you up. You know, I realized we didn't talk at all today about the Stanley Cup final last night.
We didn't need to.
Florida.
Florida's the better team.
Yeah, some are saying, are they a dynasty, even though they've actually only won one title?
Cup.
But
Some saying that.
People are asking. People are, or at least one person is asking.
One person asked.
One person was asking
9 hours ago.
Yes, one person asked. Yes.
He also said that Kevin Durant was a bad word.
Yeah. Whoa. He said he's a bad word.
He said he was a Twitter.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Why would you want Kevin Durant on your basketball team? Or some people.
Sounds like he's gonna. I'm gonna predict.
Then he said that, and I took a 10-minute walk. I sat down here, and he was still talking about it.
He was still talking about it. I think he's going to end up with the Spurs. If I had to pick, I think KD's going to the Spurs. Him and Big Vic are going to play together.
Big Vic?
Big Vic.
You're the first person that has ever called Victor Wembanyama.
That's not true. I got that from Bomani Jones. You've never heard that?
I don't listen.
You know what else he calls
Jones.
He calls him? He calls him Le Slim because he's from Paris or France or whatever. I don't know.
The same thing.
Le Slim.
Paris is France.
No, Paris is in France. I couldn't remember if he's from Paris. I meant to say he's from France. Is he from Paris?
I have no clue.
All right, listen.
I like how you look at Josh like he's going to
Josh knows.
it.
Josh is a ball knower.
Hey, Jamie, pull that up.
What do you think, Nice? What do you think about Le Slim?
I think he's going to be the best player in the league.
No, what do you think about the nickname? I don't care about him as a player.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We are failing in the nickname department.
Well, that's definitely true. Nicknames now are just abbreviations. Oh, hey, look, it's
Would you like to say what Tyrese Halliburton's nickname is?
I mean, we could. They call him the Halliban. That's hilarious.
Want to get the facts right here. Wemby is from Le Chenay.
Le Chenay.
Chenay.
Yeah, where's that? Is that near Paris?
North Central France.
Ah, classic. A classic North Central
So
France.
he's in the Columbus of...
Who knows? Oh, nice. That's a geography reference here.
Look at me!
Mm-hmm.
Little old Matt McMaster learning where certain cities are in Nebraska.
Like, going back to the nickname thing, the MVP of the league, we just call him SGA.
Free throw baiter?
Well, yes, but we call him SGA. That's a boring nickname.
You know, not
Anthony Edwards is just called Ant. We just took off most of the letters.
I think we've had too many Karl Malone references in this show. But the mailman...
Great. And then when he was bad, the mailman doesn't deliver on Sundays. What a great joke.
Chef's kiss.
Gosh, that is so good.
Or white chocolate. Jason Williams.
That was good.
That was a good one.
That was
I don't know if people would call anybody that now, but that's a good one.
Here's a good one.
Yeah.
Starberry.
Mm-hmm. Starberry.
Definitely.
Well, I always like ones for like Wayne Gretzky, the great one. Yeah. Larry Bird, Larry Legend. Like, it explains so much about them.
Eric sleeping with Bieniemy.
Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. That's pretty good. Chris Berman.
Thank you. That's whoop, whoop,
whoop, whoop. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Trump means business.
Yeah, you're right though. Now nicknames are garbage.
Nicknames are terrible. They're trying to call Tyrese Halliburton the moment.
No, we call him the Halliban. That's what they call him.
Do you see what they call Caitlin Clark?
No, I have not, and I don't know if I want to know. We'll get to that Caitlin Clark thing tomorrow. Well, I guess this isn't the Happer Show. We're allowed to talk about Caitlin Clark on our show.
In that case, remember that time Pat McAfee?
Oh, yes. I totally forgot about that because Pat McAfee's had 8 of those moments.
Yeah. Bill Simmons was like, turn the TikTok camera on Kyle, and he went after Pat McAfee for his...
Bill Simmons was going after Pablo Torre.
I was. That interview. Pablo Torre...
killed him.
Oh, yeah. He dominated that interview. I listened to that interview, and I texted a friend of mine, and I said, I want you to listen to this because I want to talk about it with you.
I do think, though, Pablo Torre definitely, we gave him an inch with the Jordan Hudson thing.
Yeah.
And he took a mile.
It's an interesting story, though. She works.
Do we really need to go to the New England Patriots fan cam, look through every game in 2021?
You don't think that's interesting for the coach who's gotten a whole lot worse since then?
At this point, the Bill Belichick story is this. She's good looking. He wasn't for a while. Now he's got money. He wants to be with a good looking woman. He is.
You're saying he's gotten more handsome?
Well, he's just got money now.
Oh, well, he's always had, since 2000.
But he's finally found somebody.
He's finally found true love. Are we going to talk about him tomorrow?
Like my co-host.
Are we going to talk about North Carolina tomorrow and them as a football entity?
Yes, we can do a North Carolina football conversation.
All right, we'll do that on tomorrow's show, and we'll do a variety of other things on tomorrow's show as well. But today, we still have one segment to go, so we will do that. When we return, we'll get you ready for the baseball game, which is now about a half hour away. Oregon State and Coastal Carolina coming up just after 6 o'clock. We were wrong on our picks earlier.
No, we both took Louisville.
Oh, we did, and they came back. Never mind. For some reason, I thought we picked Arizona. Shout
We're
out to
so
us.
good at this baseball talk.
Let's see if we're right on tonight's game
Go
as well.
Cards.
We'll do that when we return from the Omaha Baseball Village. Day 3 here at the Men's College World Series, 1620 The Zone. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster with you here at the Omaha Baseball Village. We got our pal Josh Otson. We have Ben Geezer back in our 1620 The Zone studio as we are getting ready to send you upstairs. John Bishop, John Bishop and Mike Farron.
Whoa!
Connor Happer will be down on the field. By the way, absolute carnage at the U.S. Open right now where but one single golfer. Oh, and he is about to be at even?
Oh,
no! Golfers are below par at this moment in time as Burns just got a double on 11. So Sam Burns drops to even par. And apparently Scheffler had a birdie putt.
I mean, he like smoked.
Yeah, and now he is putting for par, and he made it.
Okay, I don't mean to be this guy.
Oh, baby.
But John Rahm is at +4, and he's in the clubhouse.
Yep. And that's where Scheffler is now, but he has 3 holes left. What are you going to say?
Rahm might be looking pretty
See,
good.
that's the thing. So Scheffler had that birdie putt, and it's like if he gets to 3 under with so many golfers still with almost half a round to play, like what kind of wackiness
Oh my God!
could happen?
Scotty Scheffler ended up winning this tournament.
Dude,
that would be the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, would you be that surprised though? Would you be that surprised?
I don't know. If I bet like Scotty Scheffler plus 280, I'd almost be like mad.
Yeah.
Be like, really? Like he ended up winning, but I ended up getting minimum money for the incredible comeback.
Yeah, that would be quite frustrating. So I imagine some of you are watching right now.
And I definitely don't have money on John Rahm.
Definitely. Oh, is that why you brought him up out of nowhere? Very interesting. Very interesting.
Plus 750, my friend.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and good luck to everybody else out there. So that's what's going on in the U.S. Open. 0 golfers. I love when the U.S. Open is like this. I love when it's just a bunch of guys above par.
Hovland just hit the fairway, and a big old puddle just
nice. Yeah. For those who have missed it, it's very mooshy. At Oakmont because of a lot of rain. They've had, I think, multiple delays
very
today.
Moist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oakmont.
Speaking of moist, it's going to be a wet one in the ballpark tonight because it's hot.
Oh.
It's actually not as bad as yesterday.
I thought you were going to say it was going to rain.
No. No, that's Tuesday. Oregon State, Coastal Carolina. This one starts in about a half hour. Matt, who do you got?
Coastal Carolina.
We
were talking
look at these guys. Great pick.
We were talking to some Chanticleer fans who were talking about, hey, this bullpen's going to be
Chanticleer fans.
Sorry, what did I say?
No, you're good.
Who were talking about how this bullpen, this pitching staff is going to be raring and revving to go, and I think that they proved in their first game that they look like one of the best teams in this field. So give me Coastal Carolina.
I actually am going to agree with you.
Wow.
This team doesn't lose.
No, they've won 24 games in a row.
Dude, they're like the 2015-16 Warriors who started out 24-0.
But then they ended up losing.
They played the Celtics. I don't think the Oregon State Beavers are the Celtics, though, so we'll see what happens.
2015-2016
Warriors?
Yeah.
Their first loss was to the Celtics.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like in the finals.
No, they lost to the Cavs. They were 3-1.
Well, no, I know that. It's hard to forget.
Yeah.
I didn't have money on that.
All right, well, that was fun. Let's do it again tomorrow.
We're going to have to.
But that's true. We are on the schedule. Matt and I will be back tomorrow. We'll have Josh Otson here. We'll have Jimmy back in the studio. And then we'll do it again in the afternoon. And I don't know, maybe it'll be Ben again back in the studio. Either way, we're looking forward to it. Enjoy the baseball. Enjoy Mike Farron. Mike Farron's voice. Did I say voice? Voice is going to be heard. Shout out to Gary. He's probably asleep right now. He's probably tired.
Good for him.
Yeah.
I'll see him in the morning.
Gary, good job by you. Good job by everybody. Thanks for listening. We very much appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. live from the Omaha Baseball Village. We hope to see you there. For Ben Gieser back in our 1620 The Zone studio, for Josh Hodson to my left, and my now 3-day-in-a-row partner in crime, Matt McMaster, I am Josh Peterson. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Enjoy the baseball tonight. We will talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. right here on 1620 The Zone. Bye-bye.